You're listening to the 14th Source for all geeky and nerdy news and discussion, which means that you're listening to a podcast.
For all intents and purposes.
I am D. Bethel.
And I'm Andrew Asplund.
And we are your two overeducated, codependent nerd hosts, bringing you the things that we like to talk about, but filtered through inquisitive and critical lenses. In the episode for Friday, May 23rd, 2025.
Okay, it's an awkward week.
Is it?
It's sad.
I mean, it's just about us. We're always awkward. But it's sad.
It's sad. It's sad. Hey, door slam. Afternoon, everyone. Norm.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably better to start with this than to end it. We keep ending with deaths, and that's no good.
George Wendt, who had played, he did.
Oh, I thought that was the sentence. George Wendt.
He did. Yeah. So he did plenty of things, but he's probably most remembered for playing Norm on Cheers. And he died this week.
Yeah.
It's what I would say is that it's weird. I was actually talking to someone today, a student, I think. And just the sheer lack of, what are you talking about? Like, it's that whole thing of like, oh, here's this thing that happened. And he's like, what? But it felt like such a staple of the, late 80s to early 90s.
Absolutely.
To the point where, like, anyone that's in that age range knows Norm, right?
Yeah. I mean, Cheers was such a cultural... Again, that was also still in the age of the monoculture, and we could guarantee that most people were watching the same general stuff. And so, and within that monoculture, Cheers was such a monolith,
right?
That don't forget what it spawned. I mean, I guess Frasier, that's the very thing. But the careers of a lot of those actors as well.
I mean, he's a veritable Captain America of bars.
Yep, yep, nailed it. I'm glad you didn't spend any more time thinking that one through, because that was perfect.
Yeah.
And Norm and Cliff, his
John Ratzenberger.
Yeah, his partner, his beer partner, inseparable in the memories of a lot of people in our age range as well. And the best part is, everyone in our generation at some point looked up how old those two actors were during the filming of Cheers. And we're like, oh no, they're like 34, right?
Right.
Or something like that. Because they defined what midlife was in my eyes. And they were not.
Well, they were at the time.
That's true.
Midlife moved.
Yeah, getting off the topic. George Wendt seemed like a nice guy.
But I think we've talked about it, but I want to take a moment to just really throw it out to both him and the writers of the show. There's clips, I think Paramount or Peacock or one of the bullshit streamers has a whole sequence of Norm walking into the bar when he does his thing, and the response. And honestly, some of them are they're all good. Most of them are good, but it's actually just a great thing. Like, he walks in, afternoon, everyone, Norm, and then someone says something to him, and he says something back. And it's great. Like, there's jokes. It's fun. I mean, actually, I will say he actually ends the show where he's one of the last two characters in the show.
It's
him.
That's right.
It's him with the owner of the bar at that point, Sam Malone, and he says, hey, Sammy, I didn't want to say this in front of anyone else, but it's all about who you love, what you love. Do you know what I love, Sammy? And he's like, beer, Norm. And the response is, yeah, I have time. That was kind of part of the gimmick. He'd set up a prompt of them asking him for a beer, and he'd be like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And I kind of love it. It's just delightful. It's just this guy that's like the trusted confidant, the friend, the guy is always there. I also love the fact that I've watched this enough, and I say this as someone who haunts a bar. Mm-hmm. When he walks in, everyone he says, "Afternoon, everyone." Everyone yells his name, and then in many episodes, you see someone sitting in the chair he sits in. They get up and they walk somewhere else. It's like this, just this he is the fixture. He's the one that sits there.
Yeah.
And George Wendt, like, he was a character actor, I guess, who, like, showed up as a extra or a regular on the show, or not even a regular, like
background actors at first or something, or
I don't know. But I kind of love it because, to me, I talk a lot to people outside of this podcast about how Cheers represents a certain amount of, like, community, it's
for sure.
a third place, a place where people go, and he is kind of like the one who. You go to the place where it's not your home, it's not your job, it's your safe space, if you will.
Right.
And Norm is there.
Yeah.
And George Wendt was that.
In our hearts.
Well,
at the very least.
Yeah. And so I want to, like, how much I love that. And, he was old. He's in his 70s. So it's fine. Like, he had health issues. But I just want to appreciate what, for a lot of people in our age bracket, I guess.
Yeah. And older, and maybe slightly younger as well.
Right. What he did, what he brought to the table.
Apparently, we inadvertently have been trying to model our lives on his character in that show. The stable person that always has time for a beer.
Right. What I say that because I have a friend who always says, like, hey, man, something, this was my Cheers, right? Like, talking about, doing work at a bar or finding a third place, and the realization of, like, and who's your Norm, right?
Yeah, right. Well, that was actually a very fitting and thoughtful tribute, especially done impromptu. So thank you for doing that.
I did not plan that. I say that as someone who lives the life, right?
Indeed. There we go. You want to establish the norm?
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Thanks, English prof.
Well, do you know what's also... Well, we'll see for how long.
Oh!
Do you know what's also good, Andrew? Apparently, the things you're doing. We were going to do a Week in Geek this week, but I've literally been doing nothing but being a little bit ill and grading and stressing. Things are going on behind the scenes have been very stressful. Everything's fine. No one's sick beyond having the cold that I have, which is, I was thinking about this. I think I got a little cold. I think that's the first time I've had like a cold in like 6 or 7 years. Every time I've gotten sick between, I don't know, let's just say 2020 and now has been, it's COVID. Yeah. And it's nice just to not have that, just to be like, it's a cough. It's a little sore throat. It's fine. And it's gone in like 3 days. It's wonderful. But so that's my Week in Geek, Andrew. What about yours?
So, this is the thing where I thought about, like, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I've had a lot happen. And I want to take time to talk about at least some of it. So, hey, a while back, a year and a half ago, I talked about starting a D&D game where I was a player and I was playing with a group of people, and I think I actually complained about it. I said, fuck, this sucked. Or at least I complained about certain things. And I would say that I kept playing.
What edition were you using again?
The 5th. The current. I'm sorry.
You're taking the 5th, or it's the 5th?
It's the current edition. 5.5 is what people, or 5.24 is what a lot of people call it. So it's the 5th edition, but the update to 2024, which happened actually while we were playing. So I've been playing that. I will say we finished. It's done.
You beat D&D.
I beat D&D. And it was fine.
Good story. Anyway, so my weekend... No,
it's a weird thing. It's like, it was fine. It really pointed out to me... So I play a lot of role-playing games. I definitely love tabletop role-playing games. Like, I've talked about it a lot. You've heard me talk about it. I like them. And I complained about this one. I said, like, oof, I don't like this. I'm not a fan.
Right.
And I'll say at the end of the line, like, as we wrapped it up, first of all, by the GM, I won't name him because you can Google him and find out who he is. He works or worked for the company that makes D&D. So, good guy. He's actually a great guy. Really does good stuff. But he was running this.
Gary Gygax.
Yeah, Gary Gygax. That's who I played with. It's a weird thing where that disconnect between I have the fun of hanging out with people and playing a game, and then have the not fun of, but the game we're playing I don't think I like. And that was actually my conclusion at the end, was kind of like, this got to the point where it was kind of miserable.
Oh, no.
Not miserable, but like there were things that, what I would say, in defense or support of my GM, there are things that like about the game where even he was making jokes about like, oh, that's broken. By the end of it, I had a character that had abilities that clearly whoever designed them didn't think about how they'd be used. So it'd be like, so actually, for the D&D nerds out there, my final character, who was for I'd say more than half of the play, was a rogue soul knife, which is basically it's a rogue, it's a thief, it's a whatever, who has psychic power, right? He manifests psychic blades that he cuts people with. Bam!
Psylocke. Yeah, I like it.
That sounds cool. Yeah. And he has all these abilities where he's like so psychic. He uses his psychic power dice to do things. Like, sure, yeah, he does. Yeah. And one of the abilities was, hey, man, I think it was like level 9 or 8 or 9. You throw the psychic knife that you manifest from your will, and you teleport a number of feet equal to your psychic power die times 10 feet. You had to roll it. So like, hey, bro, I want to teleport over there. Like, well, roll your die. Oh, I rolled a 1. Oh, boop, you go 10 feet. Not 6, not 8, not 12.
Yeah.
And like by the time I'm at the upper level of this play, like I'm level 18 to 20, I'm like the paragon of like, I'm on the ascent to godhood or whatever, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm fighting this battle. I need to teleport across the room. I'm going to throw my knife. It's like, roll the die. Oh, I rolled a 1. Okay. You tried to teleport across the room, but you went 1 times 10 feet, which is boop on the other side of the monster that you were fighting. And it like that happens so much because that's how the game is. Like, again, anyone that has D&D can read the soul knife and be like, oh yeah, that's what it says. Even the GM who works or worked at Wizards would joke about it. Like, like every time I try to attack, he's like, ooh, can you hit? Roll your psychic die times 10 to see if they're in range, right? There's just this idea that like someone wrote this thinking that was a good thing. And that became kind of my experience was I had fun.
Right.
But it was kind of like, despite the content, but because of like the people I played with. Right. I don't think I talked about this on the show, but halfway through, like, oh, you guys are doing well. Oh, you did something and you received this treasure. It's whatever it was. It was like a skull of a monster or something. But it functions as this item, and the item was a jug of alchemy, which is in the rule book. Oh, it's this thing that every day can make a certain amount of thing, a certain amount of liquid. Oh, it can make 4 ounces of poison or 6 gallons of water, it's a whole list of shit it can make once per day. And one was like something stupid like 4 gallons of mayonnaise.
Wait.
And you're like, I'm sorry.
Wait.
Like what? It makes 4 gallons of mayonnaise? And that became the whole discussion of this item. Well, I guess we're like, because clearly whoever wrote that doesn't think about how much fucking mayonnaise you need.
Yeah.
like, 6 gallons of water. Like, that feeds a group of 6 at a minimum.
Right. Man, if I were the GM, I'd just like build like the ultimate task or challenge to be like, and you also happen to need 4 gallons of mayonnaise. Like, shit, I already used it.
So we joked about like that became the whole thing of like, I guess we're making mayonnaise. Like I had to double check. It's 2 gallons of mayonnaise. I'm sorry. So 4 gallons of beer, 1 gallon of honey, 2 gallons of mayonnaise. Like, holy shit, dog. So we like the whole, there was an ongoing joke through play that we were selling mayonnaise. We just like pour it out of the magic jug and just bottle it and sell it. It was like, what? Like, this is like this big, high fantasy adventure, heroes saving the multiverse from whatever. But, we have a side hustle that is selling mayonnaise from the magic jug.
That's pretty great.
And I just sit and think like, what the fuck are we playing? Like, every time the mayonnaise came up, I would sit and think, what?
No offense, that's like some Skyrim ass shit there. Like, well, I've got 16 pounds of cheese wheels.
Right? And and that's what it felt like. Like, it just felt like this kind of weird thing. And again, we played through the game. It was fine. But that's going to be my memory is we were multi-dimensional heroes that saved the multiverse from the machinations of this villain. But what I'm going to remember is the fucking mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And I just, and honestly, like, I've read a lot of old D&D stuff because this item is actually like it is kind of like this was something from a previous edition. So it's not like a new creation. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to always think of like, this is what D&D was. Like, you thought you were sitting down to play Lord of the Rings, but you're actually playing Best Foods, right? Like, you're just, I guess we're Hellmans now.
There we go.
So yeah, what a weird thing. It was a positive experience. Like, I enjoyed it, but I realized that what I enjoyed was the people, like the experience of sitting at a table, having fun, joking about stuff. And it's like every time the game mechanics came up, I'm like, oof.
How much of that was the group kind of leaning into the absurdity of it versus, I mean, the game doesn't tell you that, hey, if you use this to make mayonnaise, you got to sell it.
No, that's.
But is there a ludic use for mayonnaise in the D&D?
For 2 gallons of mayonnaise per day? Yeah. No. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
So you think it was put in there as like a joke, like just for the lulz?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I really imagine that maybe. I'd have to wait. No. I have the rule book. Let me check the old
live research.
The ancient texts. Let me check.
Go to the index. Go to the M's mayonnaise.
So I have the original or the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide. Does it have this item and does it make that much mayonnaise? Mm-hmm. Let's find out.
Instead of the salad days, the people in the D&D universe have their mayonnaise days.
Oh, it does. Alchemy Jug. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Alchemy Jug. This magical device can pour forth varying liquids upon command. The quantity of each liquid is dependent upon the liquid itself. The jug can pour only one kind of liquid on any given day, 7 pourings maximum. The liquid, oh shit, it makes more mayonnaise. The liquids pourable and quantity per pouring are salt water, fresh water, beer, vinegar, wine, ammonia, oil, aqua regia, alcohol. So the original first edition did not have mayonnaise. Mayonnaise was added.
Clip that quote.
Mayonnaise was added. I assume in the 5th edition.
Well, no, this is like a research project. When did they add mayonnaise?
By someone who's a monster.
Right?
But anyway, there we go. D&D.podcast. Yeah, it's...
Roll for mayonnaise. Well, that sounds exciting. If the biggest takeaway was mayonnaise, maybe that says... Maybe that's the one-line review of the entire experience. I'm glad it sounds like, hopefully, the people you're playing with were fun.
Oh, no, it was great.
You at least had a good time.
I had a good time. Again, it's that idea of, like, every time the game mechanics came up, I'm like, oof, like, oh, we're playing, poop again? Okay.
Mm-hmm. How many other games out there, game systems, I guess, do you think have mayonnaise in their player books or their handbooks?
No.
No? GURPS?
No.
This gotta be mayonnaise.
Fucking GURPS.
Anyway, so has mayonnaise been the pinnacle of your week or weeks in geek?
I mean, that's a fair one. I think that's actually the end of the mayonnaise campaign. Oh gosh, it's gonna be.
Is that the name of the book, the
mayonnaise
book?
Campaign? Right. Jugs of mayonnaise winter. Dragons of mayonnaise dawn.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
The crack of mayonnaise.
No, it was good. So this is a bit of a weird combo into something else. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I think I talked about that I played the Walking Dead RPG.
Right.
That's not important. So yeah, I talked about playing the Walking Dead RPG. And I actually started an ongoing thing. We actually
that's right. So yeah, you did talk about it. That's the what was his name? The Ballad of
Dick Brimes.
Dick.
That's what you called it or whatever.
Oh man, that's good. Okay, sorry. Yeah, sorry. That hit me again. Yeah.
So we actually separately started. Actually, after that, we basically bought a 6-episode season, like a starter. So we did one of those. But what I want to say about that, like not the role playing game.
Yeah.
I actually want to talk about how that prompted me to start watching a different Walking Dead. I actually started watching Fear the Walking Dead, which was the first spinoff. And it's really interesting because I think actually that's the first one they did that is not from a comic.
Right.
Right, because the original, like the original show was ostensibly based on a comic from start to finish. Whether that carries out, I don't know if that goes all the way, but like Fear the Walking Dead was the first that was like, no, this is just, Robert Kirkman was the producer or whatever, but like it was its own thing.
Right. Take place somewhere else?
Yeah, no, it's set in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Yeah.
West Coast
represent zombies. So I started watching it to sort of research how the show dealt with the outbreak. And the reason why was because the game I wanted to do, the game that I'm now running for 6 sessions, was early on, like within the first 2 to 3 months. Not like
Fallout 76.
Right. More Fallout 76, less Fallout 4. Right. And I'll actually say, just watching it, it was actually kind of it still has the Walking Dead AMC problem of like, well, it's always sad. Like there's always depression. But I did like that it felt different, right? It did really feel like, okay, this was a different take. And I don't know when, I didn't actually look at how, like when this show started filming as opposed to when the other show was. I know that like season 4 is when they jumped the shark and just merged the two.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Season 4 is when they do a soft reboot and bring in characters from the normal Walking Dead into the new one. So I'm not there yet.
I thought maybe the other way around. We're like they're in Los Angeles, like we got to get to the CDC, march all the way over to Georgia.
No, it's more that people. Well, I think they get to Texas, and then people from Georgia or Virginia get down. But
there you go.
Yeah, what I would say is actually it was interesting to see, and the one thing I actually want to really kind of address, because it was something I thought about, like how does the zombie apocalypse start in the Walking Dead universe, like with the idea being that everyone who dies becomes a zombie. So how does that actually like sell in the early days? Because the original comic and show do not address it. It happened, right? Like how is it that this got out of hand so fast? And I actually want to give Fear the Walking Dead credit, because the first season, actually, most of the people are alive. Like, by the end of 6 episodes, it is them, like, realizing shit's going down and getting away. And what I will say is, and this is a spoiler for anyone who wants to see it, earmuffs, but what they like, one of the things they talk about is like, oh, everyone's seeing, like, news reports that the police are using excessive violence. Right?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Right? And that resonates really well. I mean, I think I would actually say much more now than it did then. Because in the first season, I think the 6th episode actually has a police protest. Where people are like, oh, the fucking police are just fucking murdering people. Except that, like, again, not defending the police violence. But the idea that's like, no, they're actually putting down zombies. But they're not talking about it, right? They're concealing that part of it. So the idea that people just they hear or see stories of, yeah, man, the cops fucking shot this guy to death. Like, oh damn. And that's like, and I actually think that I've never really thought about how the nationwide or worldwide zombie epidemic happens. Like, and how it feels like it fails so spectacularly, right? Like that people like, oh, like when we see The Walking Dead, yeah, Georgia's just shit. Or Atlanta, right? Like just zombies everywhere. Like how did this fail so fast? And you're like, oh, because, you know, there's, you know, of course, and I say this with the realization that now we live in a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. time frame. But yeah, it is this idea that like, oh, there was like an attempt to cover it up, but in this way that was believable, right? Yeah, man, the cops just had to used extra violence. Oh, but why? Oh no, cops used extra violence, whatever else. So yeah, that's the part of the show that I was really surprised by, because I didn't know how would they sell that the dead rise and everyone just sat around like, you know, looking stupid. No, it's because there was a reason why people didn't believe stories of like, oh, actually no, dead people are coming in. Because the show starts with someone seeing a zombie and runs away from it, whatever, and like no one believes it. And you're like, why not, man? This is happening. They also have a scene where like the hospital is basically, oh, someone's about to die, take them down to the basement.
Right.
So I guess I never really thought about that in the context of a zombie narrative of like how that would happen in a believable way without just like something like, oh, everyone becomes a zombie instantaneously. Like, I think Resident Evil is just like, oh no, everyone's just a zombie, you know? So yeah, I was impressed with this. I liked it.
How far have you gotten in the show?
I'm in season 2. Also, they have a boat in the first season. Like, I love that, like, yeah, man, we got on a boat. Yeah, that's fuck it.
Ocean's right there, man.
Right,
yeah.
The ocean's right there. So I do like it. It's just a very different take on the show I've been watching.
So what have you taken from that to set up and inspire your? Are you running you're running the Walking
Yes,
Dead
I am.
campaign?
I am.
Okay.
So I'm running. So back to what I started with. So I'm running a game, 6 episodes, and I think, but that was kind of the thing of like, how does that work? You know, how's it we get with to the idea of this making sense. So it is actually, I have it. I will say, for anyone interested, I have a zombie. It's not The Walking Dead. It's a zombie story. I don't want to tie myself to their narrative. Also, it's set in 2020 something. But it's a group of survivors living off of Highway 227. Shockingly close to my parents' house.
Yeah.
I mean,
right what you know, you know.
Right what you know. We, in fact, actually, the first session we played had them go to the gas station, the Chevron on Broad and Orchid that I used to get gas from.
Yeah.
In fact, I got a picture of it from Google and kind of, did some art to it to make it. It's, we'll see where it goes. It's a fun thing to just like, okay.
How many episodes are you in?
Just one. Yeah. Playing for 6, and then we'll reevaluate. So
nice.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun thing just to watch the, buy the role-playing game, watch the show, think about what I'm doing, and then also like, oh, now I play it, and then watch the other show, and kind of like, hey, I kind of like this, but I want to do my own thing. I'm into it. So anyway, that's my Weeks in Geeks. That's what I've been doing.
That's awesome. Sounds like you're keeping things diversified. I guess you're keeping things diversified. Yeah. It's not all zombies. I'm glad you're doing stuff when I've been doing... I'm not going to say I haven't been doing nothing, but I've been just occupied with day job stuff. I will say I've finished Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and it's a fun little romp. I will say it's a pretty good Indiana Jones adventure. I'd say by the end of it, it did remind me a lot of, just in terms of tone, and this is not surprising considering the thing I'm going to say that this game reminds me of was actually inspired by Indiana Jones, but it reminds me a lot of how the rebooted Tomb Raider games kind of played out, kind of somewhat rooted in sort of quote unquote realistic or Indiana Jones style adventure with a fair dash of supernatural stuff, especially chiming in at especially the end. The performances in the game were fantastic, including the late Tony Todd. Yeah, it's Indiana Jones. I think it's probably, I mean, aside from like being an adventure game, like was LucasArts did back in the day, the way that Machine Games approached the franchise is probably the best other way to approach it. And I will say, like, this game is. Yeah, it's a first-person game, but it is an adventure game. It's really not about combat. It's about sneaking and puzzles and just exploring, right? And so it's as close to a first-person adventure game as you can get, which is nice because it's not just run and shoot and kill. It's mostly about just looking around and trying to punch as many Nazis as possible, right?
Which is important.
Punch
those Nazis.
So if you, dear listeners, have any thoughts about the topics Andrew discussed this week, feel free to leave your thoughts as comments on the page for this episode at forallintents.net.
You can also post your comments or engage with other listeners on our Facebook page.
You can find us on other social media as well, specifically the places that Andrew and I frequent, which means you can find me on Instagram and on Blue Sky at Bethel Comics on both, and you can find Andrew on Mastodon at at profounddark@dice.camp. I got applesauce full brains.
While you're at our website at forallintents.net, you can also take a look at our YouTube page, which you can find by clicking on the link in the corner that says YouTube. There you'll find the show simulcast in YouTube. If you do listen to the show on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and as the kids like to say, ring that bell.
We use 2 tracks of music for our show. One is called Disco Medusi, the other is called District 4, both written and performed by Kevin MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, immortal swordsman, graph paper enthusiast, and musician extraordinaire.
You can also find his music at incompetech.filmmusic.io, and that's all licensed under the Creative Commons 4.0 Attribution License.
If you like the show and like to help us out, the best way to do so would be to subscribe to the show using whichever podcasting service you happen to use. What would help us out even more, though, would be to leave some sort of review, whether a text review or using their proprietary metric will help spread the word to new potential listeners through the magic of algorithms. Andrew. I am excited to talk about Doctor Who when it's done.
Oh my gosh. We're close.
This season rocks. I'm very much enjoying this season. And for no reason whatsoever, I just want to spend a minute to talk about the wonderful Doctor Who character from Yore called the Rani.
That's just like, calling Pip and Jane Baker.
Yep, their ghosts rise and say, someone remembers our names. Yeah. No.
Sorry. This is that fun joke of maybe there's a reason why we're talking about this character.
Maybe not.
And my first thought was, oh gosh, this character only appeared in episodes written by Pip and Jane Baker, who
Two greatest writers of Doctor Who.
I have I think I actually texted you. I have this memory of you saying the worst fucking writers.
They are the worst fucking writers to ever work for Doctor Who. Their episodes are bad.
So it's just this funny thing that this character, who the character does not necessarily reflect the episodes. It's a character they created.
Yeah, an evil time lady,
right? And now it lives on through this arm.
In this arm, yeah. Do you know if she's had any vindication through the audio space?
Oh, probably. Oh, yeah, man. The Big Finish does everything.
For sure. Oh, God. First appearing in the 2014 audio drama, The Rani Elite.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I have no doubt.
Heck yeah. Planet of the Rani? Oh, God.
It's an interesting character because it's a contrast, like it's another Time Lord who, a contrast to the Doctor and the Master, where they're all renegades, right?
Right.
Whereas the Doctor is like, oh, I go around, doing good things. The Master is like kind of just like a bit of chaos.
Yeah.
Where the Rani is I would say my experience with that character is she is lawful evil.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To use a D&D trope.
Right.
So it'll be curious to see how, if it's in a new Doctor Who,
if it is,
how that works out.
Yeah. Especially, what if there were two in one episode?
What if there were two?
That'd be crazy. Call me RTD. I might have some ideas that you're definitely not doing in the show currently.
Yeah.
I guess we should put at the front. If you don't want to be spoiled for Doctor Who, don't listen to this end outro thing.
Right.
Or do, because we're not talking about anything in particular.
Right.
So you said she was lawful
evil.
Lawful evil? Okay, fair enough.
Now I'm okay, so let's. Sorry, this is a Doctor Who tangent. I am peak excited because what's her name? Bonnie Langford is apparently in the last two episodes.
Heck yeah.
Bonnie Langford, who played Melanie Bush, and the whole joke here is that in Time in the Rani like dresses up as Mel.
Oh boy, do we have a? No, I can't make this the episode show.
It's the weirdest. It's the weirdest shit.
Yeah,
and I kind of like. I want that joke to be made in the episode.
So great. She dresses up as Belinda.
Or whatever. I mean, I want Mel in the Rani to have weird, like, or like Mel dresses up as the Rani or some stupid shit.
Or they both happen to come out of the opposing doors wearing the same thing. Yeah.
I want that to just be like a fucking stupid joke. And we'll see if it happens. There's 2 more episodes left.
Right. She should say something if she's in this episode. Yeah, she's in it. Where's your question mark umbrella or something like that? That'd be great.
I want that, like, that whole dumb plot point to be a gag. Like, oh, let me dress up as the Rani, says Mel. Like, I'm an old lady. I could do that. Like, what? Like, it's like, what?
Right. So until there's a gag you want. Oh. I shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm D. Bethel.
And I'm Andrew Asplund.
And for all intents and purposes,
that was a podcast.
That was a pod gag. That didn't sound good either.
Nope.
So, if you, dear listeners,
that's not important.
At the very least, I think
an unsanctioned Glen eruption.
Glen eruption.
When are we gonna talk about Final Fantasy Magic cards?
Oh, you finished Dungeons and Dragons? You beat the game?
I beat it.
What are we talking about?
We do Weeks and Geeks. I mean, it's been so. I actually have so many things I could just like splash around.
I don't have anything.
Okay, so it's an Andrew Day.
Let it be known that May 23rd is Andrew Day. We'll petition the mayors of Sacramento and Seattle and see get you to cut a ribbon or something.
So let's do this. We clapped, right?
We've clapped.
Yeah, let's rock it out with our
cocking out.
Microphones out.
Oh, that too.
The original first edition did not have mayonnaise. Let's get down to a podcast to defeat
the Hans. What's the fucking date? 23rd of May.
You're a spineless, pale, pathetic lot.
All accurate.
And you haven't got a clue. Wait,
Still accurate.
I think I actually jumped a verse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mulan nerds. I jumped a verse.